Remember I had 2 exits. If by any chance you're still holding those QQQ calls, we have this fair value gap on the hourly that we're hitting right now, and the final target would just be basically at this candlestick open or at the swing high. But anything within the fair value gap is a reasonable exit. And if we would have held on to these QQQ calls, these are probably gonna open up 100%. So it's unfortunate we got out, but holding through the weekend is a little bit scary. But that's why I usually choose expiry like at least 2 weeks out. I have it open right here. So once we open at 9:30, you're gonna see the price. It's gonna jump to. We got them at 475 on Thursday. I ended up getting out break even. Split this. Yeah, I did trade futures. I was done by like 1 a.m. Then I just locked myself out. All right, for today, I'm just gonna monitor the usual SPY, QQQ, and the tech stocks. I actually focus on QQQ right now. Let's get rid of these. I highly advise you guys start futures, or at least learn how to trade futures. It's a great skill to trade on the side. You can easily make like a side income from futures, especially if you're using prop firms. If you guys eventually want to replace your day jobs, just focus on making like 50 an hour. And with futures, it's extremely, extremely feasible. Where would you start and what? Like futures? If you mean how to like learn it, futures is just basically the same as stocks. The only thing that changes is how the contracts fluctuate. I would go to this website here. I'll link it to you. The only thing I would suggest is for you to understand how MES and MNQ, like just understand the value points they move based on each tick. That's literally the only thing I would learn. But other than that, they basically just move similar to SPY and QQQ. So once you understand basically, I guess, the requirements, the cost for each contract, the amount you make for each tick move, I think that's really all you need to know about futures. But other than that, its movement is very similar to QQQ and SPY. So just pretend like you're trading stocks, just you're just using future contracts instead of the underlying. But the best thing about futures is that it's open 23/5 basically. So you can technically trade after work or in the morning. The best hours is London and New York session. So if you get this indicator, it'll basically tell you the hours. But London is basically here. Actually, let me show on futures. London is from 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. By any chance you're awake or you're in a different time zone, definitely London. Asia, I don't recommend for anyone to trade. This is just a consolidation phase, and it's meant to trap traders. But honestly, anything after 2 a.m. to literally 4 p.m. is very good area to trade. I'm usually done by 9 a.m. But lately, the past, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks, from how volatile the market has been, you can trade after Asia from like 12 to 2 and like be done. But once the New York session opens, you're going to see how volatile this is going to be. And you can easily like hit that $50 goal in like a matter of like minutes. I'll leave this open. I'll slowly start posting, like, I guess, like content resources for futures as well. But if you guys want to start learning, just choose a prop firm and like choose the lowest cost account and just practice on there. Yeah, you can definitely use the same strategy. If anything, the strategy actually evolved from futures. I just basically pushed that into options. But futures is the place to trade, scalp, day trade, whatever. All right, the market is going to open in 15 seconds. I want to see where these are going to open up at. These are the contracts we sold at break even Friday. These open up at 8:30. So almost double. I think double would be about like 950-ish. 950 would be double. That's cool. So we have this massive gap up now. And we also have news at 9:45. So definitely at least the first 3 minutes of the mark open, I'm not trading anything. Even scalping, I'm not going to scalp because we have news in 15 minutes. Let's see. We're still in the hourly fair value gap. If we, for whatever reason, after news, push up and hold above this on the hourly, this will be extremely bullish on the hourly. Then on the daily, I would expect a continuation, like all the way up to 500, right for the next week or two. We have a lot of liquidity points here. We push above this fair value gap. We have a lot of areas to hunt liquidity. What's the potential downside using prop firms? Honestly, I don't see any downside. It's only upside. There's more pros and cons. Um, it's very low cost entry. You don't risk much of your own capital. The only thing you risk is the account you pay for and the activation fee, which is about $200 for majority of the prop firms I know about. So it's basically nothing, at least compared to like risking your own capital. Because the margin requirements for to trade futures on like Schwab or E-Trade is pretty high. You would need it, I'm pretty sure, like at least 5 grand if I'm not mistaken, minimum. So 5 grand versus $200. And all the prop firms I'm aware of, you keep the first $10,000 you make. After the first 10 grand you withdraw, you split it 90%. So basically you keep 90% and they take 10% afterwards, which honestly still isn't that bad. Actually, I would say probably the biggest downside is they are difficult initially just because they don't allow much drawdown. So if you buy a 50K account, they only let you lose up to 2,000 before the account gets closed. So it is difficult, I would say, the first week or two until you build cushion on that account. That makes sense. You had Apple 215 calls, right? Also, these are two. I don't know what these ended up being. I also grabbed these, I think, around 330. These more than doubled. And what was the other one? It was 195 for Amazon. Check. It's 195. Tuesday. These more doubled as well. Yeah, it's I mean, generally speaking, I would have held even with the 30% drawdown. But yeah, with the recent just random news events, it was better safe than sorry. 100%. Unless you wanted to hold maybe just one contract and, basically risk the capital on that. I mean, yeah, you should ask that for every trade. As long as the risk to reward is at least 2 to 1 to 3 to 1, it's worth it. Because ideally, what I was aiming for the swing count is to take 3 trades per swing. So 33% capital for whatever the account balance is. And as long as you get 2 out of 3 of those right, you should be, in the positive. Yeah, QQQ and NQ are the same. ES and SPY are the same as well. No, if anything, that end of day run, I kind of had a feeling we're gonna gap up. But what was actually kind of funny, I legitimately got out at 4.76, literally the highest tick of the day. So I made $4 on those. Just a reminder, we do have news in like 8 minutes, so don't be trading. I think Netflix is a little bit bearish. We just had this retracement to this candle. And like you said, we just got a big retracement or a big pullback. But looking at a daily, I see at least a 50% pullback now, probably all the way to like 920. I'm measuring it from the swing high to here. About half would be, I guess, 930. Not saying this is going to happen today, but eventually. 930 to like 925. These are extremely expensive. I don't know if I can ask you guys to swing this. It's about $1,500 for one contract. I don't think people are going to like, and the spread is massive. 18 to almost $20. It's a $200 spread right there. So Netflix, even though it's usually good to trade, but the spreads on this are wild. I would not call this first swing. Apple's a lot better too. Implied volatility is all less good for day trade. Is on pretty good. We want to go over the QQQ play one more time because this was a really, really good setup, especially for you, brand, so you can zoom out. The daily, if you would have marked this fair value gap, we literally retested it. Then if you go on the lower time frame, like say the hourly, we swept this liquidity on the 4-hour to hit this fair value gap. We instantly rejected. Then on the 4-hour, you got a market structure shift, and on the 30-minute as well. So on two pretty big time frames, we had a market structure shift. Now on the 30-minute, we literally got perfect retest. Remember what I said a couple times? Every single candlestick that will form will eventually retest the opening or the closing of the candlestick. We got that an hour later, we retested open. So there was 2 entries here, and this was a really good confirmation, especially after this rejection. Then after you get a high time frame bias, next target would be the next area of liquidity. On the hourly, we got this sweep, or just 4 hours. So this is 4-hour. On the 4-hour, we got this sweep. Next exit would be right here. And that happened the next day. And then 2 days later, we refilled this imbalance, retested these opening lows. So this could have been another area to get in. This is actually where we got in, right? Thursday? It was around here. And I was expecting RA3 plus afterwards to take out these liquidity points. Well, this is why it's good to have multiple time frames in your chart so you can see the bigger picture. All right, news in 2.5 minutes. Google. Google, same thing. I like it long term as well. We took high time frame liquidity. Now we're gapping up, taking out all the stops that we had from here, and we have this gap. Usually these gaps end up getting filled. So Google eventually will hit 170, like 0.26. Now I'll also take out this liquidity on the hour too. I'm not saying this will happen today, but eventually. But it's still bullish. You can also look at trendline liquidity too. I don't want to teach this to people because they're gonna rely on this. But trendline liquidity is usually a tool to actually trap retail traders. That's why I don't like using it. It's good to mark out, but don't use it as breakout or breakdowns. Actually, didn't get much of a reaction based on that. It's not yet. I mean, we did get a reaction, but it wasn't as big as I expected. The PMI, the actual is less than the previous. All right, so usually after this, and if you're trading on profits, by the way, they generally don't allow you to trade 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after, and there's a good reason for that because they usually get massive wicks on either direction, and you can liquidate your account in literally like seconds. But this one wasn't too bad at all. Yeah, that this was nothing. I would even like have known that we had news. Now that we got that out of the way, 15 more minutes and I'll start scalping. Tesla post getting ranked. I haven't touched Tesla in like I think a month at this point. It's I don't know. It's one of those stocks that I just can't get myself to play with, which is like the factors of Trump and Elon behind it. But yeah, but that's a disgusting gap up and run. Bull's looking pretty good here. If this 5-minute can push, we're gonna go for the high of day. Yeah, just FYI, I usually don't trade options or call out anything on the challenge account until after 10:30. Yeah, I'm definitely looking at Apple calls today. The only issue is it is Monday, so they are a little bit more priced than like if you would have traded them like Wednesday, Thursday. But nonetheless, you can still make and you can still make good profits. Like for example, if you want to buy 220 calls right now, it's expensive actually. Let's see. So I'm expecting high of day. To buy right now, it's about like 285. And high of day should be like about 360. So that's like a 60-cent move. I think it's like 20%, right? That's a 20%. So you can still get good profits with that. But I don't want to see Apple go below this candle and close below it. Still like the close below what candle and why? Um, close below this candle that made that push after this wick. So we got this market structure shift on the 1 minute right here. This came back all the way down, retested this fair value gap we had, wicked out any stops we potentially had here, and closed above. So this candle to me is really important. Ideally, if we retrace, I don't want to see a close below this. If we do retrace back here, we can touch it, wick it, but I don't want to see a candle close below this one because this was significant to me. Then after we took out any stops we had here, the next target should be high of day, which is 221.03. Now I was watching these like around like 288. We'll see where these end up hitting. To set up my trading view like mine, I think you need the pro version or one of the paid versions because I don't think the free version allows you to have one or two charts, if I'm not mistaken. You do have pro. You would just go over here. By default, you probably only have one chart. Just you can do 2, 3, 4, or whatever you want. I like doing the 4. The bottom right, I have for the long time frame. I either set on the daily or the 4-hour. Here, I keep this at 30-minute. Top right, I keep it at 15. Top left, 5-minute or 1 minute. Oh, Amazon is just ripping. Amazon's just taking out this liquidity we have right here on these wicks. And on the 4-hour, we also have this fair value gap. See how it reacts here. But we also do have another one too, so I don't like this too much. Usually, if there's more than one, I don't like to trade based just on the second one. See it on a different time frame. Yeah, in a different time frame, this actually becomes smaller on the hourly. Yeah, about this big, which is really nothing. But for this one, gold over here. I don't think we're gonna pump another $3 here today. So we'll see what happens after we take out this liquidity. But usually when something like this happens, I would start zooming down to lower time frame, 30-minute, 50-minute, even potentially the 5-minute. Then see what kind of reaction we get, and if we get a market structure shift, like a bearish imbalance. But now it's just a waiting game for Amazon because we don't know exactly when this is going to stop. Liquidity points can be literally just right after the tick, or we can keep going for another like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it may be. Apple closed green. Apple's still good. I think it's going to follow suit. Yeah, I mean, you could have entered this. I just want to wait till 10:30 after. Uh, I mean, Martian, especially. I mean, I'm not sure where you're from, but if you don't have PDT, like you could be day trading this too. Just use small size. But for the challenge account, since myself and majority of people have cash account, we have to focus on like one or two good plays. Because once you use the cash in the account, you can't reuse it until the next day. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, technically, you still could have taken this. I think it was still a good setup. And if this ends up hitting 3.6, that would be a little over 20%. 20% is still really good for one trade. Did by any chance anyone take these Apple calls? 220. What price did you enter? Fucking Degen. Oh my god. You guys are fucking insane. Just scale out, man. 30% in like 5 minutes is good. Don't get greedy. 50 fucking contracts. All right, we took out one sweep here so far. Let's see where we retest and how we hold. Yeah, but be careful. If this 5 minute closes like this, we may come back and retest the opening of this. I'd be cautious for these. You see why I'm marking out just the wicks? Why there's such good areas to get out? And we literally swept it and like rejected within seconds, or maybe I guess like a little over a minute. But ideally, like anything like this, I would always like scale out a portion of my position. But if you have margin, I would get out fully and just wait for a retest. But nonetheless, if you got into these, like, what was it, like 9, I said, to like 3.2, still 10%, 10 minutes. Probably is about to close and looks pretty good. But the 30-minute, it is closing below, so I would wait another 30 minutes to see what happens here. Yeah, if you guys are in these Apple calls, I would just be cautious. We have this basically doji candle after this sweep. We could come back and retest this 5-minute open, which is also this 15-minute open. This will put you guys in drawdown if you hold these. You guys should still be in profits, but I would hold on to these too long. Alright, for QQQ, I want to see what happens in this fair value gap, because this may end up becoming an inversion. And the reaction we get here now. It's like, no. We retested it? Tested it basically to the wick. Looks like we're going to keep going here. This 5-minute candle closes above this previous bearish candle on Qs. I think we're gonna start trending all the way above this fair value gap that we have the 15-minute, which is about a dollar higher, $1.50 higher. I think right now we're just trapping shorts. Let's see how this 5-minute closes. How do you check volume? What do you mean? There's volume right here. On TradingView? Do I have it on TradingView? You can use, there's a tool here. There's the fixed range volume profile. I personally don't use it much, but once you click on it, you can just drag it above time area you want, and it tells you the most volume we had from that period you selected. So this line that it created basically tells you that the last 34 minutes from market open till now, the most volume we had is around 487.5. That was the most contracts traded. Then look at this. Remember this? Look, this is actually crazy. Look at this fair value up I marked out on the 5-minute. Look at the volume we have. This is why this is an imbalance, because a lot of orders didn't get filled. Like if this would retest, there's a lot of resting orders here. I mean, that's why I like fair value apps. You don't even have to like look at volume to like kind of indicate where there's an imbalance. I'll leave this up for now. Is Trump actually speaking today? Actually, I'm gonna move this. It's good content. See, turn this. Okay, this is not the best price action yet, so I'm gonna wait for a push. And we're still in this time frame 1 hour fair value gap. We're at the equilibrium right now. Just 50% of it. The 5 minutes still looks good. I think I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes or 4 more minutes, see where this closes. When a fair value gap becomes inverted, what does it mean? It depends on the context of the trade. So for this one, since we have this bearish fair value gap on the higher time frame, then we got this bullish fair value up in the 5-minute. If this becomes inverted right now, we have a potential of reversing to the low of the day. We'll see how this 5-minute closes. Only because of the higher time frame context we got. If we weren't in any like bearish fair value gap, I wouldn't like be looking for inverse. Oh, he speaks at 12:45. We got time. Right now, it looks like we hit the 50% and we bounced up. So I'm actually gonna take a risk here and start scalping the 489 calls. See if I can get fill at 146. 10 contract. Never mind. Glad I didn't get those filled. Been an instant loss for me. We are retesting this fair value up one more time though. Okay, I'm just going to wait for it to close then. Yeah, this isn't the challenge count. I'm just going to be scalping. Just for like maybe 10-15 minutes until 10:30. Alright, 5-minute close below. Take this anymore. You gotta bounce to 489 and then I'll take a tree here. And these are 488 puts today. I'm just gonna wait to see what happens at 489 first. These are 488 puts for QQQ. I'm gonna be scalping. I'm gonna take a starter actually here. Maybe I got filled at 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna close at 1.4. I'm gonna stay in this trade until 489, and then if we get a push above this, and then my bias will change again and I'll get stopped out. 489.16, the opening of this. 917. Gonna close above 49.2. I'm just gonna get stopped out. I should have been more patient and just waited for 489, but I kind of hesitated and thought we wouldn't get there after this candle. That would have been a much better entry. Looks like we're closing above anyways. So I'm actually gonna get out small loss here. So this 5-minute candle is closing above. It's definitely a little bit bullish. 50-minute is a doji. So it's kind of indecisive. I think I'm still gonna. I think I'm leading back towards bullish now. Yeah, I think the only issue is like this is not a good entry, so I want to see where this comes back to. And for the 1K account, I don't usually trade till after 10:30 because of the cost of the options. After around 10:30, after the market settles for a bit, the option price goes down. And then the only reason I focus around 3:30 for the swing account is for people that trade full time, or sorry, that work full time, and they can't look at charts until like 3:30 or until like 4. But technically speaking, the swing account you can get in once you see a setup. So every now and then, depending what I see, I may call out something during lunch. But I don't think I've done that recently. At least not yet so far. How much was that lost? Well, I did 10 contracts. Looks like I sold for 25-cent loss. So $25 times 10, 250. This is gonna be stupid, but take the starter here. And these are the 489 calls for today. I just got filled at 155. I'm gonna move this up maybe a little bit more because I do think. Let's see if we can sweep this higher right here. So this to 5. These are just scalps, and I'm not draining the 1K account. Not yet. Take 1 or 2 more scalps and then I'll switch over. These are 489 calls. I entered at 155. I'm trying to exit at 186, 1.86. Should be a little bit over the high of day. I want to see if we can continue this trend. Maybe thesis from earlier trapping shorts was correct. I want to see candle closures above the high right now. At least on the 5-minute. Just made a high, but if you notice, the option made a lower high. So that's the difficulty with the options before 10:30. We had a higher high in QQQ. The 489 calls stayed like 15 cents lower. So I even made it lower, expecting that, but I still didn't get filled. So I'm gonna give it maybe a minute or two and continue. If not, I'll just get out at the price it's at. Yeah, man, if you guys are following these, only follow them if you're in margin. Don't waste your cash balance. And just use a very small size. Like right now I'm just doing 10 contracts. But it depends on the capital you have. I want to see this next candle push above 489.8. Need to see some volume to continue this trend. Yeah, I know that's kind of why I don't want to show this, to be honest, but people are free to do whatever they want. Like if anyone took those spy puts with me, I got out at a loss literally like 2, 3 minutes later. I was able to take that loss, but whoever's holding this is now almost down, I don't know, like 30, 40%. So when you're scalping or trading, you just gotta be able to handle like small losses like this. And I basically just made it back plus some. Like I feel like this is the biggest hurdle I think with traders is they can't take this loss. They just want it to come back to at least break even. But I mean, if you just take the loss and it's switch your bias, not necessarily switch your bias, but you know, take the next trade, you can make it back. I took those QQQ calls because this 5 minute closed bullish. This was a market structure shift because it closed above this one. I kind of was expecting it to retrace 50% of it, but we never got that. And then I was zooming in the 1 minute, and once I saw it was holding, I'm just like, I'm just gonna take a risky trade and enter here. So this was a little bit higher than what I usually enter, but I mean, it was a scalp, and I was willing to take the risk. This is also I don't call stuff like this in the 1K challenge because the risk to reward is not good. But for scalps, it's fine. The color of the candle matter? It just has to engulf the previous one. So this was a bearish candle. This next one obviously has to be green to engulf the red candle, and vice versa. So yeah, technically they have to be opposite of each other, if that's what you're asking. All right, it's almost 10:30, so let's look for something. All right, Apple looks like it retested that 5 and 15 minute. And we did just get the sweep on the 1 minute as well. Now we're holding above. I do like Apple here. I think the only issue I have with Apple is on this 30 minute. If we close like this in the next 2 minutes, um, it's not that good. I don't think the risk reward is as good now. Something else. I like Amazon better here. If Amazon continues like this, we can see the high, but even then, that's not risk, the best like reward because it's only a dollar high. It could still be like a 20% move actually. Yeah, the 5 minute just closed. This is a very good candle. I like this. Let's see if we get one more touch at 202.51. This will be the opening of this candle. And get in. That should be like 1.68. I'm going to take a $1,300 position. That's 50% of my capital. So how much should this be? I'm going to get filled here. This doesn't touch me though. I probably adjust it. This 5 minute average retested the open. So I'm going to give it one more minute, see if I can get it. If not, I'll adjust my order. I have my limit at 1.68 by the way. Dude, stocks don't have 0 DTE. So this is weeklies. They expire Friday. 205 calls for Amazon this week. Oh shit, my bad guys, my bad. I mean, it's obviously a typo, come on. Alright, I just got filled. Yeah, I mean, I was watching QQQ, so in my head, 0 DTE just stuck. Do you ever do theta strategies? Not for challenge accounts. Did you guys get filled 1.68? Alright, cool. 1.68 was a really good entry. It went to like 1.66. Every 16 cents is about 10%. Well, we're about to be 10% up. Right? I'm aiming for the high of day, but you guys watched my stream the other day. Anything above 15%, I would start scaling out. As per the challenge, we're aiming for 8% a day. So, but I'm gonna put a sell. Put it at 2.12. Sold at 8% already. I mean, hey, 8% in like 2 minutes. That's nothing you can complain about. I mean, if you're a margin, go ahead and take whatever percent. You can get in and out as many times as you want. For the folks like me in cash account, I can only trade like 1 to 3 times a day. No typos with that one, right? Sell limit. Oh, I was just busy typing. It took me like 30 seconds to write that. The sell limit, can't see it. I typed it out in chat. Oh, you mean here? It's just basically the high of day. This could be obviously more depending on how much higher we go, but I'm just gonna take my profits and look for the next trade. But if you guys want to hold runners, do whatever you please. But, from 1.68 to 212, if we do get filled, it's like 44 cents a contract. I think it's gonna be like a $400 trade, no? Currently up 156. Yeah, the trade is still valid. I just realized I took that trade exactly at 10:30. I do want to see a push within this 50-minute candle. I don't want us to hesitate here. Majority of the trades I take, I should be in and out within 30 minutes. I want to see how this 50-minute candle closes. And then I'll alter my sell based on that. 1.6 good for entry? I don't think we're going to get that. We got it in 1.68. And majority of the time, if I get in and out of a trade, I don't look for the same trade again. Not saying it won't be invalidated. I just look for different trades. And there's 5 more minutes left for this 50-minute. This 5-minute, I really want to see a push. See a push above this 5-minute, close above. 0.77 good for re-entry. Is that where we're at right now? I mean, yeah, technically. I mean, this trade to me is still valid. The only issue with this is our entry is a lot better. Almost, it's like an 8% difference. I mean, this trade is still valid for now. I mean, if you guys miss this trade, I'm going to look for another one. No worries. Don't chase. The best, how do I word this? The number one thing for me about trading is just getting like the optimal entries. Like right now, I got pretty damn good entry. I haven't had a single like min of drawdown. So even with all these, push down in price, I still didn't touch my entry yet. Well, to me, entries are 100% better or more important than exits. Because once you get a good entry, you can technically exit wherever you want. Whether it's break even, small profits. But if you have a bad entry, then you're kind of screwing yourself over from the start. So, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but now price is pushing a little bit higher. But the option price itself is kind of hesitating. We already can see some decay. For 2.12 to actually get filled, probably have to go like maybe like 10 cents higher than the high, maybe like 203.4. So once we reach that level, I want to see how it reacts because I'm not sure exactly what the price of the option is going to be. I want this 5-minute to close above these 5 minutes. So we have a minute left. I mean, if it closes below, it's still fine because this 15-minute retested the previous one. Ideally, I want it to close above because then the momentum is a lot stronger. Let's see if we get that. We got like 10 seconds left. I'm going to close above 202.8. Yeah, we didn't get it. But let's see this push we get. I usually don't like to stay in trades for this long. This 15 minutes is still good. In the next 15 minutes, I'll get out of this trade. I'm not holding it longer than that. By 11 a.m., I'll get out. I kind of like this. This is consolidating for the push-up. Oh, this seems bearish in a 5-minute. Well, if we just get one bullish 5-minute candle, that should be the momentum we need to surpass this high. Consolidation is good. I know people say it's choppy and whatever, but you need consolidation for a move. But we just need this 5-minute to push. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty slow. Ideally, I like to get in and out of trades within like 15 minutes. We've been in this. It's like 10:31. It's been 18 minutes. In order for it to go up, it must go down. I mean, consolidation is a little bit different. We already went down a lot uh, the higher time frames. But yeah, it's basically the spring up. All right, we got candle above, but still not the push I want. Volume is getting lower. But I'm gonna be fully out of this by 11 o'clock. No matter what the price is at. Yeah, the volume is low. Looks like it's back to our entry now. There's a little decay because we got around here. Price is a little bit higher and it's around the same entry. If this 5 minute candle closes like this, I'll probably just look out to get our break even. Alright, I'm gonna try to get our break even on this. Hopefully it retests. In the meantime, just look for something else. Like spying cues, I don't know, it's not really playable right now. We're just gonna be trending. Um, and this is too high up for me to play any calls. See though, I'll keep monitoring cues. And the cues is about to touch the top of this fair value gap in that 1 hour. It's just, I don't know, there's no good plays right now for this. No confirmation to short, and longing would be, in my opinion, kind of chasing, or you wouldn't, at least you wouldn't be getting good entries, because this could obviously potentially keep going higher, but we just don't know that. I want to see if this 5 minute gets retested and how it reacts here. Right, 9.55 on Qs. So this 50 minute is about to close bearish, but we can still come back up and retest the opening, which hopefully should be around my break even. We just opened up. And let's see, stop would be. Did form this fair value gap 2. Oh, this hourly did close above these liquidity points. To me, that's still pretty bullish. I wouldn't be surprised for this 1 hour to retest the open of this. So basically, it's like 203 almost. 203. We'll be right back here, and this actually put us in profit. Maybe if it retraces back to the equilibrium around 201, like 15ish, I actually may add to this. Then just expect a retest of the opening. But if not, this may be it. Just took some sweeps on the 5 minute, and we're retesting the fair value gap right now. But still too early to tell. Because I mean, this is really only bearish right now in the 5 minute and the 50 minute, but the 30 minute 1 hour is still not that bad. Like even if it gets down to like 101 or to 1.15, this could still be a potential add. It's the best place to add more. Not necessarily the best place, but it is a good place. But I would want to see the next 5 minute to engulf this one. Confirmation. We did sweep this, retesting the hourly fair value gap, but there's no confirmation just yet. Where did you get the 1.15 level from? It's the equilibrium point of this fair value gap, the hourly. It's just a guesstimate, so it looks like it's like 201.17. I was just kind of like estimating with my like blindly. Buy Amazon with the rest of your capital. No, I wouldn't do that. Because in case it does go lower, you can get a better fill. You're free to do as you like. I think the only issue we had here was just no volume. After this 5 minute closure above, it didn't happen at any volume. We just needed that push up. So maybe it got brought down to sweep these stops to get that push up we needed. But I said ideally I don't want to hold anything for this long. To me, this is not the best trade. So worst case scenario, I'm gonna try to get our break even at least. QQQ just retested that 5 minute open I was talking. Rate 9.55. QQQ is gonna keep trending higher. So hopefully Amazon can follow suit. Didn't you say it's a big mistake to hold till break even? No, not necessarily. I mean, ideally, yeah, take a small loss, but since I'm looking at different time frames, like I said, the 5 minute, 15 minute, and this was bearish because 50 minute closed below. This 5 minute rejected pretty massively. On the hourly, we formed this fair value gap, and this is just a retracement. This is about 50% retracement. This candle, but to me, this is still bullish on the hourly time frame. Same with the 30 minute as well. And then if you look at the 30 minute, we got a sweep, and on the 5 minute as well. So that's why even before this happened, I said this hourly can retrace back to or maybe I said in the 50 minute. Sorry, I said it can retrace to at least 202.7, 202.7, which should be around here. That should be at least my break-even point. However, I'm still leaning bullish. I want to see what happens once we get to 203. And since it is Monday, I mean these are not decaying as fast, but I'm definitely not holding this overnight. 100% not. Once it gets to this 5 minute open, I want to see how it reacts, and then I'll decide. For the time being, I'm just gonna actually just move this up a little bit. Let's just retest this 5 minute open. I want to see the price action that precedes, and then I'll base my sell off of that. But yeah, if I was scalping these, like using my margin account, I would have just got like a break even or small loss here. But I'm sometimes a little bit hesitant on the cash account because we can only focus on like 1 or 2 trades. Also, it's a good thing we did a full port because uh, we wouldn't be able to add down if we needed to or look for another trade. So I'm just gonna be patient with this one. And I missed Apple. Alright, so Apple initially I didn't like it as this 30 minute, but 30 minutes later, we retest this open. We opened here. The 15 minute was a doji, so it was quite indecisive. And this one was a little bit difficult. Choppy here. See how this 15 minute candle closes, then I can still base a trade off of it. Did this guy really buy 80 contracts of Apple? Yeah, 5 minutes on Apple, this closes. Video is looking really good. If not today, I think pretty soon. I'm gonna take out this high from last Monday. Of course we end up retesting that 5 minute, get a high. This would have been a really nice scalp. See Nvidia. Nvidia may just keep going, but I don't like chasing. This 15 minute candle closed below these, so not really a good indication we're gonna keep going up just yet. I'm gonna see it retest this open, see what happens. Yeah, I think this 30 minute or this hourly, we may tap into like 101 point or 201.15 on Amazon. Or reversing. Because it looks like it's retracing right now. The volume's still low on Amazon. Yeah, it's definitely lower than 30 minutes. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not turning this into a swing. I would rather get out 20% loss or whatever this may end up being. No swings in 1K account. I mean, you're free to do whatever you like, but on the 1K account, no swings. Right, Amazon or Apple, I mean, just got that 15 minute retest. Kind of want to get Apple calls here. I think the only issues is volume we got at this sell-off. I think this was a good entry at that 5 minute retest, 15 minute retest. So Apple, we're making higher highs on the 5 minute. So if this were to be an entry, my stop would just be a close below these 5 minutes. I'm debating whether to take this though, because the risk to reward is not bad. I'll be targeting the high for this. Looking at Apple 220 calls. I am, but I'm still hesitant. I kind of want to see. I'll sweep this and see how we react here if we get that low. Because we just got 2 pretty bearish candles and this one had a lot of volume. I'll just keep watching Apple, but not too sure yet with it. For Nvidia, I'm definitely not touching puts until at least this 4-hour closes, which is at 12. Even though like it seems like on this 15-minute we need some type of retracement. Look on Nvidia historically, the 4 hours they kind of tend to push until they close. So maybe once the 4-hour closes, I'll reevaluate Nvidia. But also, there's no really like bias to short this yet. I mean, Apple could potentially be a good one, but I don't know. I'm still hesitant on this because this 5-minute close above these should have indicated us reversing, and we instantly rejected off of it. But this is still, I guess, healthy retracement if we close above these. No, I mean, I don't know. Apple's pretty scary still. Let's see how this 30 and 50-minute candle closes. Because if this 30-minute candle closes below these, this can indicate us breaking the low and going down further. We also have this gap for the morning. So I think this is just a game of patience now. Me personally, like, this may be a really good entry, but I would rather wait for some type of bias first and buy something that's 5-10% more expensive, but have a better direction where it's going to head. If I were to take this, this would be like on my scalp account because the risk reward is not as good. Q is still looking good. This is still healthy. We dip just being bought up relatively very quickly. Usually when we get something like this, we eventually have one pretty big impulse to the upside before reversing or continuing. So as long as we keep this trend, this is healthy. And I wish Amazon would follow suit. So I do like my Amazon too, is we did have a pretty good amount of volume the first 30 minutes. So there should be a lot of shorts here that are potentially stuck. And this VWAP kind of indicates like where the most of the volume is. So whoever is stuck here could potentially be trying to get out around this price. I don't know if we'll get one more push down. I'm still gonna be patient and wait for that 201.50. Yeah, see, I'm glad I was patient with Apple. Like I said, take anything here would have been the risk reward is not good. If I would have taken these on any of my scalps, I would have got all of those. So it is 11:30. If I don't find anything, I may just double down on Amazon. And that'll probably be my only trade. Yeah, be patient. Stop buying instantly. I've mentioned I'm waiting for that 101.15 since like an hour ago. No reason to rush into trades. Once 201.15 hits on Amazon, I'm gonna see the price reaction, and then that's when I will consider adding. Until then, I'm not adding to this. Microsoft looks good. Maybe for a swing, I may call this out later. This could be actually a good area to add, because this was the move that kind of pushed us to this high. And we just retested the bottom of that candle. And we formed a very small fair value gap, and we inverted it. 201.15, the actual stock price, not the option price. Because that's 50% of this 1 hour fair value gap. No, I'm still going to do 205 calls. I mean, maybe take another trade. Actually, an Apple put's probably. So, about like 20 minutes ago, I said this closes below, this is bearish. And this 30-minute just retested the open almost exactly to the opening. I think Apple puts may be better. 4 hour retested that open, and we're kind of closing above it. This is like one of the bullish signals, but other time frames, the hourly, 15 and 30-minute, are all pretty bearish in Apple. The only issue is getting in now is this would probably have been a lot better entry. So ideally, I would not get in here because if the entry is not like pretty good, I don't want to be stuck in a trade, especially 2 trades in one day. I wouldn't say QQQ is bearish just yet. The hourly, we can retest this open, which is like 489.23. So we can go a little bit lower. On the 5 minute, yeah, we are a little bit bearish, especially after this candle close. On the higher time frame, it's still okay. 49.3 is like only like 20 cents lower. You guys are considering SPY puts. I mean, that's fine, but the risk to reward is not too good. If you want to get in relatively quickly, then it's fine. I wouldn't hold these for too long. Same concept with the Q. I can see this like going to retest this hourly open, which is 572.77. So I mean that is about 50 cents lower. So the trade will still be pretty good. But in case we don't get that retest, you can see that's still trending and keep making higher highs. What am I gonna do if Amazon doesn't hit 201.15? Probably nothing. I still want to at least us to retest that 202.8 open on the 30 minute. That's around the 50 minute as well. This should be either slight profit or break even. I mean, technically, if we do double down here, that'll probably be like 10-50% profit, but I don't know if it's gonna keep going lower. I actually kind of like these Qs. We made a bearish candle, and if these next 2, 3, 5 minute candles end up closing above this high, we're definitely gonna keep going for the highs. So whoever's shorting QQQ or SPY here, this is not a good entry at all. This may end up being a bear trap. I guess same concept with Apple too. I just didn't like the volume that came here. That kind of scared me away. I mean, I guess if they were trying just to push it down purposefully to maybe create some shorts here, then I guess that move was good to refill. But I'm a little bit hesitant still on Apple. If this hourly candle closes green, this may be good. Changes to that. Should I get into Amazon calls now? I mean, you'll be getting a much better entry than most of us. I think it's still a trade, especially if you come back retesting that open. Like you'll actually make a profit versus me. I'll probably get around and like break even. The challenges be boring. Finally, did QQQ or SPY? No, not really. Because I mentioned a lot of times I'm not adding. I was looking for 201.15, so adding now just to see it go back down lower. I'm gonna regret buying here. If it does come back there, I'm just not adding. That's it. I can keep 50, I can keep 50% of my capital for another trade. Is it bad that you're planning holding until Friday? To me, that'll depend on where this daily closes. If this daily candle closes above March 12th opening, then this would be good for a swing. But like I said, on the 1K account, I'm not swinging this. Okay, we are starting to make higher highs in 1 minute. Ideally, I want to see that in the 5 minute. I mean, it is almost 12 o'clock. I mean, if this 5 minute candle closes here, I may just double down at this point, and this will be my only trade. I'm gonna see where this 5 minute closes, and then we'll see. I mean, not too happy with the trade so far. Kind of wanted it just to play out here, get out, look for something else. How much capital do I have for this? Can I do another 8 contracts? It's like I do like 9 contracts if I wanted to. All right, I'm just gonna add here. I'm gonna try to get like a 1.3 fill at 9 contracts. Yeah, I'm adding more to my 205 Amazon calls this week. I have a limit 1.3. It may not hit, and then if it doesn't, I'll just adjust it. That's why you don't full port, man. I mentioned at the beginning I was taking 50%. I mean, I'm still targeting the open. So worst case scenario, you can get our break even. But once we get to that price, I want to see how it reacts. I still want to aim for profits, but it really depends how we react there. No, I didn't get filled yet. It's sitting right now 1.3. I mean, this is normal volume for Amazon. If you look, I mean, average 25, 30, 35. The volume is probably technically it's me by penny. Here we go. Change. Yeah. I'll at least see a retest. 2 minute, 30-minute, 3 minutes around 202.8. Worst case scenario, break even. Once it gets to the price, I want to see the price action we get. Based on the price action we get, I may still target the high. We'll probably sell on like 5-10% profit. So I'm also canceled my Amazon order, obviously, since I didn't get filled. You guys remember if you're on okay, mistake? I'd be surprised to see 2 to 3, 5 saying they want to buy this here for keeping this back. And maybe the same thing might happen with Apple. I like this hourly close. You just go with Apple. Just run Amazon simultaneously. See if we can get sweep. It's 219. It's 5. These are for this week, 222.5 calls. And the limit should be like probably like 1.48 maybe. But it's only if we sweep this 1 minute candle here. So I'm gonna try to aim for that 1.48. If you don't get that sweep, I'll just adjust. And I should be able to do I think like 7 contracts. I can do 8 contracts. I mentioned, but I think my Amazon like 10 times. I'm waiting for it to retest the 30-minute bearish candle on Amazon. Once we get there, I'm gonna see the price action. Yeah, right now I'm trying to enter Apple calls 222.5. Yeah, 1.48. But if I don't get it, I'll adjust my order. Alright, we got that 1 minute sweep, but I didn't get filled yet. Should have gotten filled. I don't know why the option price is higher. How did I get filled? I'm confused. He literally went like 10 cents lower, and the option price remained higher. This is like reverse data. Now, you guys like that reverse data? New terminology. I'm gonna keep it for like another minute. If I don't get filled, I'll just adjust it. Getting into Apple calls, 222.5 calls this week. 15 minutes just opened. Still looks pretty good. I just got filled. Holy shit, look at the volume that came in. Is that you guys? Who bought 126 contracts? Bought 200. Damn. That was 1,500 contracts in 1 minute. That was literally the most volume on the day. I really hope this isn't you guys. That's actually insane. That was the most volume this contract got today. My target for Apple would just be a sweep of these candles. It's too late today to hold anything too long. I really just want a sweep of this 15-minute. I'll just get out fully. So we got in like at 219.5. This would be about 220.7. It's $1.20 move. It's pretty good for a trade. And then I'll have stop loss. If this 30-minute candle closes above this 30-minute bullish candle we just had, I'll get out. Once again, at least we got a decent entry, so fourth entry is actually pretty good. We were patient and we got filled. So looking at the option chain, so I want to see this sweep, right? 220.7. Options was about 1.93. So what you can do is you could have a limit sell 1.93 to hope to get filled when the sweeps. But in case you don't get filled when the sweeps, you can just adjust your order. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Well, once we get around that price, I may adjust my limit. I got 8 contracts. Oh my god, I'm down $12 on Apple. I mean, honestly, this is not even that bad, even if I were to get out today. or right now. This is less than a 10% loss. I'm holding these. Yeah, it's time to panic, man. All right, we have some volume here on Amazon picking up. So maybe by 1 o'clock we get momentum. I just hate holding a trade this long. This was stupid. Also, don't like getting out less than a 10% profit because these trades should easily be 15% plus pretty quickly. Just never got that momentum. Um, so for future reference, I mean, you guys can get out wherever you want, especially people on margin. You see 8%, you guys got out. I mean, I'm happy for you guys. On a cash account, like I want to aim for at least 10-50% minimum. I mean, still only down 160, so not too bad. Trump actually just tweet something. That kind of sucks. If he would have doubled down on Amazon instead, uh, this would have been above break even at this point. But whatever, it's okay. 1.68. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm so tired. I was trying to figure out what our average would have been. That was embarrassing. Yeah, there's the math. Thank you. 1.5. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because it was 1.6 my initial entry. Then I was gonna double down 1.3. So yeah, like around 1.5 would have been average. So at this point, this would have been almost 10% profit, I think. But we never got that fill. Oh, please, Apple, don't do this to us. Like I said on Apple, I'm just gonna monitor this 30-minute. Right now, we're touching the open. I don't want this 30-minute to close below this. We have 4 minutes left. So waking it is perfectly fine because this basically just retested it. A closure below is a different story. If Apple will close like this, I like it. See if we hold the next 3 minutes. Amazon, I'm gonna put alert here at the open of this. Our Apple calls are cooked. Only down 88 bucks. There's no reason to get stopped out of this unless there's a reason. Just retested that 30-minute, but we never closed. Oh shit. Retested that 30-minute, but we didn't close below. There's 2 minutes left for this. Should we average down an Apple? You sound like you're down a bunch. I'm only down like 7 pennies. I mean, if you want, you can add, but I'm out of capital. I think I can buy anymore. Yeah, I have no more buying power. And it looks like Apple is about to close below, so I may end up getting out a small loss on Apple. See where it closes. Let's. Okay, yeah, we closed below. I'm gonna try to aim for 1.34 fill. See if I get that. Amazon is still fine. I'm still holding this. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna move this a little bit higher until I type this out. Don't get any last push above this. I will just mark it out. So right now I'm just trying to see if we can get some type of retest on a push. Whatever balance we can get, I'll try to mitigate any of the losses. Instead of marketing here like 1.25, if I can get 1.4 fill, that'll be pretty cool. My loss will be pretty small if I get that filled. I have a limit order 1.41 right now. Because I wouldn't be surprised for this 5 minutes retest opening, or at least near it. So 219, like 0.4-ish. Should be about here. So this would be not break even, but a very small loss if it goes there. So above this sweep at 219.4. At least, get to that area, I'll just take my small loss. But even here, I'm down 124. Even if I were to sell both right now, Amazon and Apple, only down 10% on the 1K account. Yeah, I mean, Amazon on every time frame, just, do I still have my break-even order for Apple or Amazon. Apple, I'm actually gonna try to target some type of profit, but it really depends on the action we get once we retest those candles I mentioned. And then for Apple, most likely I'm gonna take a small loss. But it will if we end up retesting where I want to before we reverse down, it'll be a pretty small loss. I want to see us sweep this. But if we don't get it, I may just get out here for Apple, which will be definitely a bigger loss, but it is what it is. So if we don't get any impulse move right now, I'm gonna look to get out once we close below this. I'm got out 1.26. Yeah, on Apple. Still holding Amazon. Apple for me actually ended up being 176. Actually a lot bigger than I expected. So hopefully Amazon can at least make some of that back. But Amazon still doesn't have that much volume. I want to see like a 5-minute impulse with a lot of volume behind it. Once we get to 2.8, see what I'll do with this trade. Only down 10% on the count at least. Kind of unfortunate too. If that 1.3 order had gotten filled for Amazon, I would have gone into Apple because I would have had capital. At this point, I would have just been break even. But it's all right. Yeah, I mean, red days happen. I guess today's just gonna be a red day. It depends what happens with Amazon. But for the 1K account, I think I was still like 2 days ahead. Even the 10% loss would still put me, I think, about on track. I'll double check after. Yeah, I mean, I was aiming for break even as soon as this happened on Amazon. A break even day is a good day. Why is your size so high? I don't understand why people are following these trades on on personal accounts. I mean, you guys do you, but I'm trading this on a 1K account, so like taking a $200 loss is honestly nothing. Especially like on a challenge account where it's not a huge deal if I blow it. No, I got a 1.26 for Apple. I took $176 loss. Just FYI, I generally don't hold positions this long. Today was not a good day. That Amazon trade, and we should have got out within like 15 minutes if we just got that push. I mean, we may still get it now, but holding through all this, it was not ideal. Because even if we get that push that I was expecting, which was the high, Theta probably like, honestly, maybe like 10% of the trade already. Yeah, doubling down on Amazon on 1.31 or 1.3 was good. If I would have gotten that filled. It's like we said, 1.5 would have been about average. Yeah, Theta already ate like 10%. You can tell by the price. So look at the price right now. It's at 202.6, right? And it's at 1.6. 202.6. You look back to the left. That was about at 1051. 1051, look at the option chain. It was all the way over here. It was about 1.75. So it's 15 cents lower. I mean, you do the math. What's the percentage of that? Almost 10%? Yeah, these were my only two trades. So whether it's getting out on Amazon here or a break even or slight profit, we'll see. But minus 250, that's less than 10% of my account size. And his 10% loss is not a huge deal. He can make it back in a day or two. No, I'm still talking. TP for Amazon, I'm just waiting for the retest on the 15-minute, 30-minute, and hourly. So these bearish candles that formed. I want to see at least 202.8 in Amazon. Once it reached that price, I want to see how it reacts. There's no specific TP yet. If we get there and it rejects hard, I'll take my loss. Or at that point, it might be around break even, so we'll see. Looks like right now we just got this sweep on the 1 minute. But this 5 minute is retesting here. I wouldn't look at the 1 minute, 5 minute right now. gonna focus on the 15-minute and 30-minute. Guys are still holding Apple. Um, I mentioned previously if Apple holds, where was it? If the 4 hour on Apple holds, honestly, even just above these levels, we can still expect a retracement. But I just got on my break even because I'm not gonna hold these overnight. I mean, if you guys want to hold these, go ahead. But it's kind of risky on if you have a 4 day expiration. Goes Amazon, great. I for Amazon, I don't want to see close below this 5 minute wick. Close below this 5 minute wick. I'm just gonna get out. First time holding this long, kind of stressful. Yeah, not only stressful, it's freaking boring. This is the worst part about cash account. As I would have happily just gone out here at break even or small loss and just moved on. But this stupid cash account and not being able to day trade under 25K is a killer. So if I would have just got out here at break even, I would have lost half my capital to day trade with. And yeah, I guess in hindsight, it's still better to get out break even than to risk, losing 10, 50%, whatever. Yeah, that's the whole point of the challenge accounts is to grow small capital into 25K so you can get it around PDT. I mean, I have other accounts over 25K, but I mean, day trading with margin is pretty easy, but on cash account it's a little more difficult. But even on days where I lose, I hope you guys understand that it's still not a big deal. If I can get out a $260 loss, that's 10% of my account. Even on days like this, you can still make it back in a day or two. So it's not the end of the world. But I am getting tired. I've been streaming since like 9:30. But I don't want to get out of this before I cut the stream. Or sorry, I mean I want to get out of this before I cut the stream. It's 1 p.m. I usually don't trade after 1, futures or options. So no. I mean you still can. I'm usually extremely tired by then. Like just I am now. Um Honestly, even like usually after like 12:30, I'm usually done. And the holding position for this long doesn't happen too often. Yeah, I'll look for swing plays, but not around 3:30 I'll call some stuff out. I think so far I mentioned Microsoft. I can take a quick look at that. Let me try to do so much better. For Microsoft, I said I want to wait till end of day because I want to see how this daily candle closes, or at least around the time it closes. I do like that this candle closed above these, and we gapped up our holding now. And this 4 hour already retested the high of this 4 hour. So I think we should range it for a bit, but I think we'll eventually go back above this hourly high and continue climbing because we already started making higher highs too and lower higher lows. I'm gonna see where this in 2.5 hours where we're closing at, and then I'll call out a swing for Microsoft. All right, Amazon is not doing what I wanted it to do. Once we get this 5 minute retest, I think I'm just gonna get out. I'll just take my loss. 202.3. So get to 202.3. I'm just gonna fully get out. I have my limit 1.46 to get out. You're holding as a swing. You're afraid to do whatever you want, man. I'm not doing swings on this 1K account. But if you have margin, you can swing and close the next day and keep trading. I don't. 1.46, so like 2 cents higher. I just want a quick 5 minute retest, and I'm just gonna call it a day. Yeah, for the challenge account, SPY and QQQ are probably the best. You can just trade 0 DTE, and you can easily make 10 to 20% trades in a matter of minutes. So I just got filled here. Just cut my stream so I don't share anything. So I'm down 350. It's a little over 10%, which is not too bad. I'm still almost, I'm honestly like only like $100 behind, so not a big deal. Any advice for people holding Amazon? Bro, my advice is trade on a small account and take your losses, man. But if you're actually gonna swing this, let me go over this real quick. I mean, Amazon, if you have, the only issue is you guys have 4 days to expiration. If it was like 2 weeks out, I would have said, yeah, sure, go ahead and hold it. But 4 days out was a lot more riskier. Can we scalp and make up for some losses? Yeah, do whatever you want. I mentioned this webinar. The point of the 1K challenge account is for people that have a cash account and that can't do many day trades. It's for people that can only do 1 to 3 trades a day. That's it. If you guys have margin, you guys are not under PDT, you can do whatever you want. Will challenge be done by next month? I don't know, man. Depends what action we get. But looking at Amazon, like it's still fine. The only issue is the next day or two can be consolidation. So theta may eat away your position, but I still expect us to continue further higher. Well, it depends. Like, I mean, if we remain with this volume and this action, like theta is really going to eat away the position. Which is why with these risky positions, I'd rather just take my loss and move on. Like, even with my $350 loss today, I promise you I can easily make it the next day or two. So 1 red day, 2 green days will make it up. Quick question. If I upload the recording for today, how useful would that be? You guys want me